This is I think this is this is a TYT clip. You know how sometimes you can tell how people feel about people at their work or people in their thumbnails by which picture they choose? Does anybody get the feeling that people at TYT just either checked out a long time ago, just don't give a fuck, or hate Cenk? Honestly. Dude, I get a Canva subscription. Holy shit. Lord Almighty. Okay, so this one, this is the whole thing. Cenk, GOP leaders are underestimating Trump. So this is, I suppose, how Trump's going to be the nominee.
So now, why are they all wrong? Why is Murdoch wrong? They're looking for the
have the Murdochs forsaken DeSantis for Glenn Youngkin. Okay,
candidate that's going to capture the mythical moderate Republican.
No, there's a lot of those. They're now conservative independents. It's a large swath of people. It's why actually Biden's picking up a portion of them, but they would go to somebody like that and call themselves Republicans again.
Well, we know from 2020 what percentage of the Republican Party that is. 7%. So how is 7% going?
Well, no, because you only have Trump, and they still voted for him
to beat 93%.
No. What he's saying is Trump got 93% of the vote, and therefore 7% are the moderate. No, the moderates went ahead and voted for Trump anyways, if they voted at all. The numbers were lower. They literally just Biden swamped him because of the number of registered voters and the Democratic get out the vote, and Trump talking his own voters out of doing it. A lot of the voters that didn't show up for Trump were maggots who just don't trust voting machines.
So okay, look, you could look at different polls, and that was the breakdown of Republicans voting for Trump in 2020 versus Biden. Okay, but let's look at other numbers. But the most
it's because a bunch of Bush Republicans stopped calling themselves Republicans and call themselves independents.
You'll ever see in any poll like I'm a little uncomfortable with Trump. I would prefer someone that wasn't so vitriolic, etc. It's like 30% of the Republican Party at its maximum. Well, 30% ain't gonna beat 70%. That's why Trump has a massive lead. So there is no magical candidate. They thought DeSantis was the magical candidate. That's why in the beginning, Murdoch and all that was, DeSantis, DeSantis is gonna win, DeSantis. And he comes in and he tries to out-hate Trump, and Trump's like, ding, right? And so now if you bring in Youngkin, I will guarantee it, write it down in stone. He's not gonna do any better than DeSantis or any of these guys. Because
yeah, that's about divided party though, because you got a 50-50 split now. Youngkin came in, and people believe that he was he won in Virginia, won on a culture issue, won on abortion, all that shit. Yeah, he's not going to match Trump's numbers because Trump's got 35% lock on it. It's the other way around. It's not that 30% are going the other direction. It's that Trump has got 37% of the entire party, and the rest of them are like anybody but this motherfucker.
This is trying to go to the right of Donald Trump. There's no space to the right of Donald Trump. No.
Sure there is. Yeah, there is. He signed the First Step Act because he was trying to go to the left of Biden on crime, because he thought he could go against the crime bill, which is becoming more popular because of rising crime post-COVID. And you can go to the right of him on Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. I mean, Mike Lee fucking campaigned on it in quiet. So all these Republicans, the donor class especially, are applauding it. And there's a shit ton of people who go, well, you got to have Social Security on the chopping block. Republicans have always been for cutting entitlements. That would be to the right of Donald Trump. He literally, to go after DeSantis, he moved to the left of DeSantis as a way of securing old folks in fucking Florida. He's fighting for voters in Florida. That's one of his advisors, or his own fucking stupid idea. He thought, I'll go to the left of DeSantis on this shit. With the rest of the party, there's a bunch of people that would go to the right and go, we absolutely have to cut Social Security. Fucking Vivek, who he also likes, is for cutting Social Security.
Done. But if you go to the left of Donald Trump, then Republicans hate you. So it's an unwinnable race. Trump is their messiah. The only way Trump loses is that the Republican voters see that he's about to go to jail, and they're like, this is gonna be weird. but even that's helping him. So he's like
No, half of his voters said that the people who've leaned Trump, half of them would actually vote for somebody else. Like, they won't vote for him if he's a felon.
As we're right back to 2015, 2016.
No, we're not. You know why? Because we don't have this asshole and everybody on his network telling everybody that Hillary and Trump, it's a wash. I hope.
He's that monster in Star Trek when you fire the phasers at him.
Okay.
He doesn't get weaker, he gets stronger.
Yeah, I must have missed that episode. When you fire the phasers at him, he gets stronger. That was rare monster. No. What are you saying? We shouldn't. What phasers? Language, making fun of him, attacking him, whatever. Or if Republicans attack him, he just gets stronger. Is he telling Chris Christie to shut up? This is a shit analogy.
So now with this giant lead that he has, somehow Trump has to blow himself up because these guys cannot beat him. And Youngkin is a false hope. And the fact that they can't see that is stunning.
Yeah, and look, I think that you're focusing too much on ideology and not enough on some of the other characteristics that speak to voters, right? The same characteristics that led to Republican voters supporting George W. Bush as the guy they'd like to have a beer with. Ron DeSantis.
Okay, first of all, DeSantis is a douchebag, but Trump doesn't even drink. And I guess, what do they want to have, a fucking fish delight with him? They're all dweebs.
DeSantis has no personality.
Yeah, that's Trump's sales pitch as well. He has one, it's just terrible.
I would venture to say that Glenn Youngkin is riddled with the same issue.
All politicians are.
Yeah, all politicians except for, unfortunately, someone like Donald Trump.
Oh, totally,
who eats it. He loves to be in the public, in the limelight. He loves.
Used to. Are we just going to pretend that he hasn't lost a step? Is that what we're doing? That he's the same Donald Trump from 2016? That the entire time it's just been.
I know words. I have the best words. Combat infantrymen.
Yeah, that he's just great.
Despite these obstacles, Karen stinks. I
think I'm much more humble than you would understand.
Yesterday is a hard word for me. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defied the seat of justice. It's defiled, right? See, I can't see it very well. We are going to be a country no more. I actually think it will not. It will be a country no more.
Yeah. Anyways, you were saying something about magic personality.
To do his rallies. He's a charismatic guy.
No. No. I mean, he had the illusion of charisma, I suppose, in 2015, 2016. And compared to what DeSantis and his weird mouth-wiping pudding thing, by comparison, sure. But not in general. Shit, the Dark Brandon shit, it is eating Trump's online presence alive in the toss-ups.
And he knows how to market himself.
Really, though? Really? He really does. He really knows.
Free health care for illegal. Look.
Yeah.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
Dumps. They call them dumps. Big, massive dumps.
I don't read, obviously.
Yeah. He's a master media manipulator. Can we just call it what it is? Trump did not masterfully control the media last time. He pulled the serial killer trick. He snuck up on civilized people while they weren't looking and attacked. That didn't happen twice. After that, you lock your doors and you're like, fuck this dude. He's not getting back in here. He's not getting in my house. He got away with this because everybody was like, oh my God, this guy will say anything. It's fabulous television. And everybody, now they're like, it was a court called him a rapist. That's.
In ways that I think other Republican candidates have really failed at.
There are only two people in almost my entire life of covering politics who have not seemed like fake, plastic, robotic politicians. Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. And yet, They both amounted to the same thing. No offense, Bernie's a decent guy, but he changed his position on guns to maintain to become whatever the mayor of his city in Vermont before he became a senator, and he ran as he was an independent. He ran as a Democrat and then went back to being an independent. He borrowed the party. I don't have a super PAC, but I'm going to use the Democrat, their party that they set up as a super PAC, and then go back to it after I lose because fuck them, and then try it again. Get the fuck out of here. That's very politician. And Trump was just talking out of his ass. I know all the best people, all the best words. I know everything. I know all about the stuff. I'm going to promise is kept. First day, it would be so quick. It's the same politician bullshit. He didn't sound like a politician because he was unpolished and a dickhead, but it was the same lies that you accuse everybody else of. The difference is that you think both of these, God damn it, both of them are anti-Biden, period. Just dicks about it. And we're against Hillary for the same fucking reasons. And yet, Joe Biden is going to get lead pipes taken out of the U.S. water supply. Fucking period, end of story. That in and of itself will save so many fucking lives over time and the health and welfare of our children that all the other stuff pales in comparison. Beyond salvaging the fucking economy and making it normal and growing the middle class and being pro-union and all the stuff that you would actually like. And they're like, he's as a fucking politician. You know who comes across as real is the guy who's using someone else's party to run. And the guy who's said it just literally said it was locker room talk when I talk about sexually assaulting women. Get the fuck out of here.
It's true.
One of them absolutely means it when he.
I don't know. I almost like Anna better with Mike Pence's head. This is the weirdest paper doll I've ever seen.
Says he's looking out for the average American, and the other one doesn't mean it at all. He's just looking out for himself. But they both look authentic, right?
No, they don't. One said what you wanted to hear and didn't win, so he didn't have to prove that he couldn't. And so you could live with the mythology that he was always going to get it done. Meanwhile, Joe Biden is getting a lot of it done, and you're like, fuck that guy. And Donald Trump was bullshitting the entire time. You just liked his bullshit. You just were impressed. Oh my God, look at how he dangles these fucking dickheads on the end of his finger. This is crazy.
Bernie actually is authentic, and
no, he isn't. If he's authentic, he would have, when he ran as a Democrat, he should have stayed a fucking Democrat, and he would have run as a Democrat. He ran as an independent because he knew in Vermont he had to. It's politics. He's not a bad guy. Don't pretend that he doesn't have a Machiavellian streak, or he wouldn't have run for fucking president in the first place. Get out of here. You recognize the sound coming out of those guys' mouths as real, and you reject the sound coming out of other people's mouths as fake. But your judgment, especially around 2016, where you're like, fuck Hillary, fuck, she's a monster. She's a fucking warmongering monster, fucking monster. And then 2 weeks before the election, fuck, Trump might win. You should vote for her. And everybody in the TYT audience was like, fuck you, or okay. But that, Jesus Christ.
of course, that's why the Democratic leadership had to kill off his political chances.
No. They didn't kill off his fucking political chances. Bernie lost fair and square. Bernie's entire message has a 30% ceiling nationwide. End of fucking story. He lost fair and square twice. And the only reason it was closer with Hillary than it was with Biden is because she's a woman. He benefited from the sexism in the attacks on Hillary, because the same attacks were done on Biden. They just didn't land because Biden was a man. And again, Bernie's not a bad guy, but can we not pretend he's not a fucking politician? He's been in office for a long fucking time, and he's bounced back and forth between party identification because he can. I'm not shitting on the guy's ideas. And here's the thing. This is the lesson that they should learn from Bernie Sanders, which is Bernie does what he has to do to stay elected so that he can get done the stuff he cares about. Bernie would not even pass his own purity test. The people that are around him that hold that standard, if they were like, you got to use these certain words, you got to stick to this certain messaging, he didn't do that. He's to the right of Hillary on guns because he had to be because of Vermont. But if he wasn't and he didn't get elected in Vermont, we wouldn't have had him in the Senate. He wouldn't have been able to run for the presidency, and he wouldn't have had the impact on the race that he had. See what I mean? He played dirty to some degree. He didn't run as there as a fucking, like, angel-eyed innocent. He knew what the fuck he was doing. And if he hadn't done it that way, he would have never even gotten close to it. If he'd have tried to run as an independent, it never would have gone anywhere. He used the Democratic Party because that was the closest thing that he could cling to get some nationwide groundswell. But there was a ceiling on the acceptance of his ideas. His socialism and what have you, like the buzzwords will tamp down a bunch of voters. Period. End of story. That's just how it works. But he lost fair and square. He didn't get cheated. He didn't get fucking. Nobody swept his fucking knee. He lost. And there's no shame in that. The difference is that in the Democratic Party, they absorbed some of what he was talking about. And especially under Biden, they're like, hey, I like a lot of what you're talking about. I don't know that I think you were full of shit when you said you could actually get it done. But we'll try and get some of it done. Let's go. What do you think? What are our plans? Let's get your people and my people together. Let's make it happen. That's what Biden actually fucking did. He's a good man. And he tried to give Bernie the benefit of the fucking doubt. A benefit, by the way, that Bernie did not give to the Democratic establishment. So, the idea that he's some sort of like this mythological, 1960s radical running for office and getting close to it is arguably the same mythology that RFK Jr. is using to get close. But it's not who Bernie is. And Bernie cares about what he says. He really does. I don't like the tactics that his campaign went through. I don't like the mythology that was built up around him that made people think that he lost because he was kneecapped and not because he just reached the limit of the acceptability of his message as he made it to the rest of the country. That I have a problem with. But I don't have a problem with Bernie's character and what he's trying to accomplish. And Biden is getting as much of Bernie's ideas that could be accomplished. He was kneecapped. Do you not know about the super? I know about the super delegates. He wasn't kneecapped. They knew the polls. He was going to lose nationwide. Period. End of story. I got news for you. The super delegates were not the reason why. Hillary won on regular delegates already. I'm sorry. It's a myth. It is a myth. It's not the point. The point is, what are the ideas you want? What do you want to accomplish? What are the steps taken to get those things done? If you want to get to universal health care, for example, in the United States, where everybody has coverage or there's a single payer system, the all or nothing approach does not work. That's what they've been selling. That's what TYT's been selling for years. That's what Bernie was talking about. And the voters across the board rejected it. They keep rejecting it. But they do like the incremental steps. They hated Obamacare till they liked Obamacare. They will hate the public option until they love the public option. That's how it's going to work. And then at some point, they're going to go, you know what, we have the means and wherewithal where the tax burden is less than the actual cost nationwide. We should just have a national healthcare system. And we can work that out. Either a federal one that supplements state ones or state ones and you can buy across state lines. That's always been my plan. Single payers that you could buy into in any state. They all run them independently. Like you could buy into the Massachusetts one, Washington State, California, something like that. That's how it works. So the idea that somehow he was kneecapped made cost Hillary the Electoral College. Period. End of story. And they played a huge part in that. And unrepentantly so, as you can see. If you care about the actual things, how you care about your health, You eat right, you exercise every day. You don't wait and go, I was going to eat shit and give the finger to the gym until they come up with a magic pill that reverses aging. That's not how you live. And that's what they're selling. That's what that myth sells. You like what Bernie was for? You like what Bernie wanted? You chip away at it. You make sure you're always making positive change towards it. That's what I think. That's why I vote the way I vote. And by the way, every time that I voted that way, in the case of Obama and then now Biden, certainly Clinton, we moved in that direction. And anytime anybody was like, I don't know, I like the guy I could have a beer with, or this sounds like bullshit, or I don't know, I don't like, Al Gore's kind of wooden for me, and I don't know if he's really committed to whatever. We got set back a decade. So there. Other than that, I have no opinion. Yeah, thank you, Andrea. Check your voters' registration, vote.org, absolutely. That's that. And you're not going to move me on this, by the way. You know why? You know why? I know some of you know why, but you know why? You know why? Hold on. Because I actually give a shit. I'm not, like, the nice thing about having another career besides this show, and I love doing the show, and I plan on keeping on doing it, don't panic, but that I have options in my life, is that I don't need to go, oh shit, if I don't scare these motherfuckers into thinking if they don't tune into my show, the world's going to collapse. I'm not going to make a living. I have other ways. So if at some point that we run out of bad news or awful shit to make fun of, I'll go do something else. They can't. Tucker can't. Russell's not going to go back to any kind of meaningful acting or comedy career after this. He's going to open his own version of Scientology. Uh, 10 p.m. in Ohio, 81% in, 54%, 43, yes. Okay, we'll do this. Yeah, I got no grift. I'll go do something else. I like that this, and the only value this show provides, yay, Ohio. The only, I'll bring up see if we can get some, and maybe CNN has the Ohio stuff in it. So we can look at it. There we go. Whoops, hold on. Get this out of here. Close this window. Close. I don't want it to. Close that window. Get out of here. There you go. So this is really great, and it makes sense because it was gonna lose, but it's great, and this is how the vote is going to go in 2024 as well. I want to remind you, because people are motivated by the fact that they recognize that their rights are being chipped away at by two groups. One, the Republicans, who want a supreme executive power under somebody like Donald Trump, and they're basically monarchists, and they've been trying this for years through a myriad of options, through the creation of a supreme executive power of the presidency and that kind of stuff, and like the transmutation of of executive orders into legal status, as same as a bill, or line item vetoes and that kind of shit. So the president can just kind of, no matter what the Congress or the Senate says, they can just fucking scratch shit out that they don't like and keep whatever, and basically single line veto shit without having to kick everything back, so that nobody can have a full say, and nobody can argue anything in good faith in the outside party to pass a bill at all, because they just know the president will just scratch out anything that their party doesn't want and that kind of stuff. That's what the Republicans are shooting for. And then there's another group of people who want you terrified, broken, and dealing in politics for the rest of your fucking life, shattered and with every normal right that you can expect to have, always on the precipice of being taken away by a shrug. I don't know. Well, we'll see. I don't know if I feel like voting is kind of a thing, because everybody's bad. I mean, they're just equally as bad. The lady is just as bad as the guy who sexually assaults ladies. And it's the same. So what's the difference? And I don't even like how that crowd. There's no difference between them and the Trumpers and the Supreme Executive Power Republicans and the maggots, because the result is the same. The goal is the same. Susan Sarandon's whole thing was maybe we need a Trump so that so the system can crash. Which it's easy to say that when you're on top of the fucking bridge and you're not on the underpass. I have congratulations. We're gonna, yeah. What? The world's not gonna. It isn't gonna end. I'm sorry. It is not going to end. Stage rights. That's right. That's correct. Non-voter sucks too. Yes, after Karen Bass. Yes. I'm just saying that this is the essence of our motto here. Which, well, we have many mottos. Safety third, very important. But the biggest one being choose less evil. Because in a situation where you've got 5 choices, but it's going to be between 2, and you're like, the 2, it's like a lesser of 2 evils, then choose less evil. It's that fucking simple. One day, dumb motherfuckers, if you work hard enough and long enough, one of those people down at the bottom with the other ideas, their ideas won't seem as crazy because the less evil people that you've been working with for a long time have brought you closer to your actual goal. So the outsider doesn't have that much, they don't have to rearrange the entire fucking system from scratch because we've gotten it there. Other than that, I have no opinion. I love you guys. That's it. And so the thing we have to be the most concerned about, I think, is the kidney. Oh, and